This is the Greenbrier Valley Church of the Nazarene with your daily devotion for Friday, February the 5th. Today we're reading from the book of 1 Kings, chapter 17, verses 7 through 16. Here's the word of the Lord. Sometime later the brook dried up because there had been no rain in the land. Then the word of the Lord came to him, "Go at once to Zarephath in the region of Sidon and stay there. I have directed a widow there to supply you with food." So he went to Zarephath. When he came to the town gate, a widow was there gathering sticks. He called to her and asked, "Would you bring me a little water in a jar so I may have a drink?" As she was going to get it, he called, "And bring me, please, a piece of bread." "As surely as the Lord your God lives," she replied, "I don't have any bread, only a handful of flour in a jar and a little olive oil in a jug. I am gathering a few sticks to take home and make a meal for myself and my son, that we may eat it and die." Elijah said to her, "Don't be afraid. Go home and do as you said, but first make a small loaf of bread for me from what you have and bring it to me. And then make something for yourself and your son. For this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. The jar of flour will not be used up, and the jug of oil will not run dry until the day the Lord sends rain on the land." She went away and did as Elijah had told her. So there was food every day for Elijah and for the woman and her family. For the jar of flour was not used up, and the jug of oil did not run dry, in keeping with the word of the Lord spoken by Elijah. This is the word of the Lord. In the article titled "Flour, Oil, and a Dried Up Brook," Scott Armstrong writes, "In a great time of need, God came through. He led Elijah to a flowing brook with fresh water where he drank and replenished himself regularly for several months. And then the brook dried up. Victor had been a businessman for 29 years. He had seen God come through time and again. But recently he had been laid off from his job and his family was barely making it. Over the past 15 years, Jennifer and George had finally seen their entire family come to know the Lord except their 19-year-old daughter. Every time there seemed to be progress with her mental illness, significant setbacks had followed. Now their precious girl had attempted suicide just days ago. As a member all her life, Pamela loved the life of the church. She was happy to serve. But since she had been diagnosed with cancer, everything had changed. All her money and her strength had been spent. What do you do when the brook dries up? Just as God has been faithful in the past, He will come through now. A jar of flour and oil await. The brook may no longer have water, but God's provision will never run dry. The hymn is "Come Everyone Who is Thirsty" by Lucy J. Ryder. I will pour water on him that is thirsty. I will pour floods upon the dry ground. And from the book of Psalm, chapter 146, verse 6, He is the maker of heaven and earth, the sea and everything in them. He remains faithful forever. Amen. This is the word of the Lord.